We are now live on the interwebs.
Oh, the internet.
The internet.
Invented by Al Gore in 1982. Just before discovering climate change.
Bringing up the bat signal.
Now live on your channel. Mograph Podcast 204. We're not 204, right?
I know, but I can't change it now. It's alright, I can change it after.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Posting on the socials.
Darth Casey is following me now.
Whoa.
I didn't realize I wasn't already. I'm so bad on Twitter lately, or for the past year. I'm just like I don't know what happened in 2016 that I stopped using Twitter.
Yeah,
something
right
around 2016. I just couldn't really do Twitter anymore.
2016 was a bad year.
All right.
Let's
go to our faces.
Where'd you post the social link? I mean, I don't need. I'm on the podcast. I don't need to watch the stream.
All right, let me get the
I watched
chat.
the stream.
Make sure the chat's working.
Doesn't the chat come in through the lower corner
It
of
does.
the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a little
we got?
chat test here. Ba-bam.
2 days in a row, Liam. Yep. We have tasted the dark fruit for sure. Yes.
Yes, the dark fruit is here. There we go.
We've
That's
rebranded plums.
Yes. All hail the Spider Lord.
in all his
Andrew
glory.
Plum.
We
Andrew
are his
Plum
eyes.
blesses us.
We should post a link to his Facebook profile so everyone just add him as a friend and be like, "Hi, Dark Lord, we love you."
I don't.
Yeah, Rick says there's something wrong with the audio. No buzz or static dropouts.
Yeah, right.
I spent a bit of time yesterday afternoon fixing all of that, so should be good. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. All the things. Went to Fry's. Got some things. All right. I'm rolling. If you guys want to start rolling as well.
I am rolling. Yeah.
Rolling.
Okay. If everybody's rolling, we'll do a little sync here and we'll get going. All right, you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, you need another McGruff appearance?
Yeah.
McGruff?
McGruff the crime
McGruff
dog.
the crime dog. I have a McGruff puppet that I was using yesterday.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
I've got Dave the Yeti.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
This guy, this really cool illustrator he's still around, he does stuff, but his name is Dave Lanham, and this was the first vinyl toy that he ever designed, and he made this back when I was an admin on a forum called macthemes.net. I don't know if anyone remembers macthemes.net, but it was a shapeshifter GUI creation and design portal for users that wanted to customize their interfaces, and it got me pretty deep into design personally.
That's
back
cool.
Nice.
Just making wallpapers and stuff.
Very rad.
All right, you all ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
In the words of Becca, do the damn thing.
What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is one of the many followers of the Spider Lord himself, Casey Hupke.
Hello.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us, info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Today is all about a wrap-up of Camp Mograph, and that's about all we're going to do.
Camp Mograph.
Got to keep all our stuff and things up and keep these episodes in line. This is actually out of order. So today's episode is this week's episode. Yesterday's episode is next week's episode because we're going to be in New York hanging out with all the peoples up in NAB East. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What's up, French Monkey?
French Monkey's here as well.
Dude, I've been jamming your music in my car as I'm driving. I'm like, I don't understand it because it's in French, but, whatever, it's good.
The French Monkey makes music?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Not just textures?
Not just textures.
I saw some video of him throwing down some mad lyrics, yo.
Yeah. Hey, when we were hanging out with Deadmau5 a few weeks ago, French Monkey, we mentioned that you were making music to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, what's his name?" I was like, "The French Monkey."
French Monkey.
It's live mouse. It's super weird.
But so all we're gonna do today is this is gonna be a short show. We're gonna talk about Camp Mograph a little bit and do a wrap up. For those of you who weren't there, I'm sorry, you missed out.
Y'all missed out.
Oh man,
it was great. It was great.
Remember when that thing happened?
Yeah. Which of the things?
All of them.
What do we start with? Do we just go in order?
You know what? Let's. Okay, so I'm gonna start off since it's early in the show. I'm gonna start off with the sponsors because we could not have done it without them, and I don't want to wait until the end. And everyone's like, "Hey, sponsorship. Let's go ahead and turn off the show." But no, most importantly, we absolutely could not have done it without all of our amazing sponsors. Like basically, if we hadn't had these people, it wouldn't have happened. So, of course, Maxon, the makers of Cinema 4D. Octane Render, Otoy makes Octane Render. We appreciate them so much. Pixel Plow, our favorite plow, our favorite plow, our favorite plow. Yes.
What an easy compliment.
Yeah.
Our favorite render farm, Pixel Plow. Then of course School of Motion, Insidium, AE Scripts and AE Plugins, and Red Giant. So big shout out to all those people and all those companies for helping us out. We could not have done it without y'all. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We really couldn't have done it without them. Financially.
No. Financially, no.
Yeah,
we could not have
happened.
done it without them.
Yeah.
So thank you. And for anyone out there who is looking to sponsor Camp Mograph 2020, feel free to shoot us an email, info@campmograph.com or info@mograph.com. We will get all of them.
True.
So, yes.
All right, let's start at the beginning.
Where do we start?
We rolled up. What day was that? I don't even know.
It was on
Tuesday.
So we got there on Tuesday, and we went and checked out the place. Now, keep in mind, Dave and me and Julie and Pickle Nick and we had not seen the place even once.
Right.
We had seen a Zoom meeting of it with Mark, so we were 100% going on Mark's word.
And photos and things.
So I know, right? So
Shuttle Mark. Woo.
Yeah. So as soon as we got there, we were like, "Oh yes, we picked a good place." Because you could just feel like the nature and the rusticness and how much fun everything was going to be. Like we just knew from the second we got there it was going to be a good time.
And when everybody started showing up, it was like you could already feel the energy happening.
Yeah.
The counselors and instructors got there a day early, so we were kind of having our own little private party, our own private round tables and stuff. There were people in the cafeteria talking, and you could tell. We
floated one whole keg the first night.
Whoops.
So, you guys did?
Yeah, I
came
think they
close.
The cider keg.
We drank a lot of cider.
Oh yeah, there was a cider keg. Yeah. Oh, because everyone was terrified of the hazy IPA that EJ insisted was good. Because I showed up Wednesday after my really really long travel day, and I just got off the plane, showed up, and Satine and Jax and Greg Gunn whom I just discovered is a mile down the road from me, and has
Oh,
been
wow.
for quite a long time.
That's
and
funny.
it was my first time ever meeting him.
Yeah,
Was,
me too.
Through Camp Mograph, I actually met one of my neighbors, and I played Magic the Gathering with him. So basically,
That's
Greg
fun.
and I are best friends forever.
Yes, and now you can play Magic the Gathering,
Yeah.
at your house now.
Yeah, but that's what I rolled in, and it was like midnight or so, and
Yeah, it was pretty late when y'all all got there.
But the Aryevs were coming down because they were waiting for EJ. So I stayed up for a while waiting for people to come in, even though my body was like, "You should go to bed."
Yeah.
But I was also kind of terrified to go to bed.
Yeah, but it was only like you got there at midnight, but that's technically only like 9 o'clock your time.
Which is also my bedtime.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah, I go really go to bed really early, because I like to get up and get the mornings going. My wife and I have like had this ritual of tea and coffee and waking the kid up and walking to school for years. And
oh, that's cool.
Nice.
That's super cool.
But yeah, I had when you guys drove me back to the cabin that I was staying in, which was kind of far away. At first I was like, oh no.
So here's what I'll say. So when we got there, we went and checked out all the cabins and everything like that, and then we realized that like four of the cabins didn't have like glass on the windows. It was all just screens.
Right.
Because most of the time this is just a summer camp, so you just need that air. Most people open up their windows, and we realized, oh no, it's going to be too cold for these people. So we had to do a lot of shuffling in order to accommodate everyone to where they weren't going to have to sleep in one of those. So like really, Casey, you should have had like a whole group of people in that village, but we had to shuffle everyone around.
Well, I'm thankful that I had a nice place to retire.
Yes.
The first night I rolled up and I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can camp in this. But then because I think I didn't post it on Twitter yet. I haven't shared the photo of the spider or really told anyone outside of the camp the story of the spider.
Yes.
So I roll in, and a spider that was like the effective diameter of like the bottom of this hydro flask, like legs and all. That was basically how wide it was. I put my stuff down, grabbed my boots out, because the boots, my Adidas got soaking wet within like 12 feet of walking. Yep. So threw on the waterproof boots, look up. First thing I see is a spider about the size of that diameter. And I was like, what the heck? So I kind of like gave it a little tap on one of its legs to see if it was either going to jump or just GTFO and leave me alone. All it did was sort of like wriggle a little bit and then just stay in place.
Right.
So we are his eyes. So I did the whole take the cup over the top, paper behind it, throw it out the door, turned around, another one was visible.
Or was it the same one?
I don't know. It could have been the same one.
Spider Lord works in mysterious ways.
But so I got that one, threw it out, and then just did one of like the like violent seizures that you have, like where you feel like spiders in your beard, spiders in your nose hair.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the campfire, and then so I start shambling out to the campfire, holding all of the flashlights that I brought. So I grab my glow sticks. I grab 2 flashlights. I get my 2 knives, and I'm heading out into the woods trying to figure out where the glow of the campfire is coming from. And I stumble across Patrick Grusky, and he was like, "Yeah, man, fire's that way." And then I turn around, and he's just off into the darkness. No flashlight for him. And make my way to the campfire, where I'm greeted by Julie holding several pitchers of cider.
Yes.
And I was like, "Well, I guess I'll get started on this."
Yep.
And yeah, it was a great night one.
So, but you and I feel like your experience that you just described was a lot of people who, they get there and they're like a little hesitant, because, a lot of people who bought tickets, like Greg, for example, we asked him to come and he had never been camping before,
never camped.
Yeah, he had never camped.
I have been camping dozens of times.
Yeah. So it's like, I think a lot of people were kind of like worried, like, what's this going to be like, but by the end, I think everyone had such a good time and got so used to their surroundings that like, we just became one big happy family.
It took time to get acclimated to that weather.
You guys also did an amazing job of pivoting and making all the runs, like Mark and Liam and everyone else who was in the vans, Nick and all you guys who were just running back and forth, like shopping online, trying to figure out the best way to get like heating blankets and extra space heaters. All that stuff was critical.
It was a little cold the first night, you know. And
the rest
it was
of the
a little
nights weren't
cold.
so bad. It was, I mean, I didn't really even need my heater the rest of the time. It was just like, and also I didn't even like, other than the relics that I discovered in my room,
right?
There was no, like, I had no spider incidents, and I was very comfortable the whole time in my sleeping bag. I was up very early every day to work out with the camp, which was very, like, the first day waking up and coming out into the darkness with the wind going as crazy as it was, having it had rained the night before so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is class 1 of the PE class for Camp Mograph. No one's going to come out here. It's pitch black. Yeah. No one's going to come run around on a wet tennis court with me.
And you had more people, I think, that at 6:30 a.m. the first morning than any other time, right?
Yeah, we had a class at 8. Yeah. And I did the workout with them in that class, and it was awesome. Dryson showed up at about 20 minutes late, and the night before...
Did you make him do burpees?
Oh, yeah. But the other 7 of us or whatever each did one to take off one of the minutes he was late. I told everyone, if you show up late, it's a burpee a minute that you show up. Paul Babb showed up 2 minutes late, so I made him do 2 burpees.
That's funny.
But it was amazing. So like this whole thing flooded me because I show up out there. I get the medicine balls. I walk into the dark mess hall, and Liam's just sitting there, no hat or glasses on, and he's just like, "Hi, Casey." I was like, "You coming to class, man?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for you." So we grab the med balls, head out, and it's just black. And I'm like, "Oh man, this is gonna be rough." So I'm like walking the tennis court to look for the wet spots to see where the slippery zones are, because I swear I'm like, goal number 1, no one gets hurt while I'm making them run or work out, because that was my biggest nightmare, was that someone injured themselves, and then I was gonna have to just feel horrible the rest of the entire trip.
Yeah.
But none of that happened. At 6:30 on the dot, we had 8 people, and the sun hit the clouds, so it just was like one gorgeous softbox that made the whole morning shine. The clouds burned off. Everyone came out dressed like people who are not used to very cold environments that had all of their layers on. And then by the end of the first lap, it was just like everyone could have been in running shorts and a tank top.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
You killed my legs, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You came both days.
Yeah, I did.
I slept in a little bit, you know. I tried to stay up late the first night that we all got there to try and say hi to the Aryevs, but you know, they took their sweet time getting to the camp, so I just went to bed. And then so like I woke up at like 6:45. I peeked my head out the window being like, oh man, is Casey gonna be there standing there by himself? But I saw people working out, and I was like, all right, cool. It's a success. Day 1 is a success, you know. But the first night we had the fireside chat with Ryan Summers, and that was something totally different than I've ever experienced at any other event or conference or something, you know, because we had no PA system or something. It was just him talking by, you know, and we had the energy in the room was so positive, and like it was like a big round table. At no point did anyone feel like they were better or had a better opinion than anyone else, you know. It was like they were just jumping in with their own thoughts and like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? You know, and we'd all discuss it. It was like having just like a giant discussion about our industry and the state of the industry and stuff like that. It was very cool. It was very cool.
Yeah. It was great. I really liked participating in that with Ryan. I think that it went everywhere. It went all over the place, and it was really, really good. I was really surprised when I was like, because we got to at one point in the conversation, we were talking about how just the nature of where we are in our industry is because everyone in these seats that we're in that we're filling doing motion design is by way of something else. So I kind of started. I picked that up, and I was like, "Everyone, raise your hand if you started into this industry to be a motion designer."
Yeah.
Not one hand went up.
Yeah, not one hand. Yeah.
In a room full of people that are all like in their own world of motion design, doing well on their own, and you know, figuring out where they're going. no one was like, I wanted to be a motion design flat out the gate. It was just nope. I had to do the motion design because I worked in documentaries and no one knew how to set type for the lower thirds, or I had to do motion design because I was an architect and then I suddenly realized we don't need more buildings, or I was in med school and I liked medical animations. Like everyone kind of got into it because they were like, oh well, this is the path that I was told to take, and then this whole nebulous space that I could fill suddenly became a lot more comfortable to me.
And there were no, not too long ago, there were no courses or school programs designed specifically for that. It was always like a subset. Like anything I took for 3D or multimedia when I was in college was a subset of video production. You know, and then also nobody has retired from the industry yet, so we're in this weird middle ground, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Not yet. I want to do a class next year of how to retire in motion design, you know, or how to like run a business or something. I think that'd be fun. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Diversify your bonds.
Right.
Yeah. There was like a big question in a lot of people's minds that I didn't think really got addressed entirely, like between the two poles of what's it called? Ryan talking about, like, you know, everyone, you know, kind of being your own Pixar, everyone being your own boss, running your own thing and doing your own thing. And then Barton's, which was like, you know, finding the place, the studio and the company or the realm or the role that's really good for you, that can see you and support you. And like, it seems like it didn't, like, it seemed like some people felt like they had to choose one or the other. And there's still space to play in between as far as I was concerned. Yeah. And I think there's really just a lot of definition that everything will kind of see that all define itself over the next like 15 years. But that's the one thing that I think is certain, is that this industry is going to keep changing. If anyone ever tried to corner me and say like, what do you see is going to happen in the industry in 5 years? I'm like, ooh, me not answering that question.
That's funny.
It really set the tone, I think, that night. Yeah. It really got everybody in the mood, that fireside chat. I'm kind of glad that it was too cold and we went inside, because it felt like that room was just like perfect for it.
That room, like, it was awesome. We just built it had a gigantic fireplace, and there was no heaters inside, just all fireplace.
And bodies.
You know, everyone was all bundled up, you know, and we threw a bunch
of fruit.
The dark fruit.
The dark fruit.
The Spider Lord embraced us with his 8 arms and kept us warm. So
the Spider Lord checked on me one night. I felt his presence. I woke up at about 3:30 in the morning. I felt his presence. I turned on the flashlight on my phone, and he was standing right there on the floor. And then he moved over to the corner and just kind of like snuggled up in the corner. And I was like, well, I guess he's far enough away. I made sure my bed wasn't touching any of the walls. And then
that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tip for camping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, I can see that. I can see
that. And so the other thing you found was what was that thing that you found?
The dark fruit.
The dark fruit. So I looked up one morning after having hung a couple glow sticks up, just because I don't like waking up in total darkness. So I brought glow sticks for anyone else that had shared similar feelings, and gave them out so that, you know, you hang them on a nail in your room or something, just so there's like one point of light for a little bit of comfort. I'm a city boy, I like my city lights.
Right.
What I'd hung it on when I woke up in the morning was a discolored piece of wood that was sticking out of the rafter, and I went up and I pulled it out, and it was this stick with these 12 notches carved on the bottom. 11
notches, yes.
That were carved on the bottom, and then the name Dark Fruit carved into it. It was about the length of two-thirds the length of a hockey stick or so, and then about the width of like a pool cue. Okay. And it was like octagonal in shape with like a hilt, and then it had a date engraved at the top. And this is weird.
Yeah,
it's not normal thing you find. So as the group thinks,
like, you're wondering whether you just found like a murder weapon or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the first thing I did was touch it. So I'm already stressing out. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get pinned. Like, the dark fruit murders of 2001 are gonna get all slammed over me. Finally found the dark fruit murderer from Camp Mograph.
Yep.
And And yeah, so we're talking about that at like one of the next. The stories keep going, and thanks to Satine's story building class,
Yeah.
we had
Yes.
some budding narratives that were developed to support.
Yes.
Like Matthias and Satine went on this walk that was like exceptionally long around the camp and defined all these regions and realms and different alternate like portals that you could take. While
Did you see the pictures of the dark fruit that they found?
no,
They actually found dark fruit.
Whoa,
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love that thing exploded from just like
Yep.
like a semi-buzzed rambling of just
Yep.
like no spiders are getting your brain, they're taking over. And then it was in the morning over coffee and a hangover where we were just like, I mean, have you seen Billy Chitkin and the Spider Lord ever in the same room at once? Because Greg Billy Chitkin became the Spider Lord's body because
At one point, yeah.
Greg Gunn was like, oh, if I would have saw that spider in my cabin, I would burn the cabin down. And I was like, yeah, but you would start from the door, right? So that anything inside couldn't escape. He was like, oh, absolutely. Sorry, Billy. Cabin's on fire.
That's
So
funny.
there's 11 notches, and I think that's one for every Spider Lord apostle.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
That means you're
that could be.
that means you're the
Yeah.
12th apostle.
You're the 12th Spider Lord apostle.
Yeah.
Who will be the Spider Lord Judas?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
Man,
the question.
never know.
Never know. We gotta see if the Spider Lord shows up at the next
Right.
camp.
I know.
I mean,
I
we
mean,
are
it will,
his
'cause
eyes,
we're gonna
so
have like Spider
technically-
Lord flags,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider Lord challenge coins, Spider Lord signet
Yeah.
ring.
I love the
Dude,
challenge
the
coin
coins,
idea.
The coins are a really good idea. I really like
Yeah.
the idea of the coins. You know,
Because you just save them. You just save them and give them to people. Like give a few to the counselors and be like, you should not leave with any of these coins. We'll give you one at the end for helping out. But
Uh-huh.
make sure if you see someone going out of their way to make someone feel included, making
oh,
someone
that's a really good idea. Yeah,
like
yeah.
helping
Mhm.
around. Like if you see someone cleaning up other people's plates, or because there was a lot of people that were just like throwing in their help, which was really important, like cleaning up dishes. Like
Yeah.
there'd be dishes or plates or bottles or whatever, not bottles, but trash sitting
Yeah.
around. And there were people that were going around and cleaning up after other people because, whatever, you get tired, you forget that you're at camp and it's all like we're all supposed to be tribally taking care of the place. But, I think I emptied out one of those entire fire bins just running wood back and forth to various fire pits.
That's
Mhm.
funny.
There was one night where I was just like the fires were burning so fast I just had to keep going back and forth. And I remember there was like the last night when
Because you were the official
Fire safety inspector.
fire safety inspector.
Yeah.
Yes.
a job I took very seriously.
Mhm.
Yes.
I roll up on someone trying to get the fire started like during the day, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
You guys taking my
Started a
job?
little-
You
started a
taking
little
my gerb?
unsanctioned fire. I caught that kid, not kid, he's my same age, Anthony, who was very nice. I can't remember his last name, but I caught him running, and I was like, "Hey, man, this is an unsanctioned workout. If you want to work out, you should come to one of my classes. You can't just be running around willy-nilly."
Yeah. That's funny. And then there's the bees.
The bees.
The bees.
Bees.
Of course.
Oh, bees.
The bees.
Well, the
So-
bees, which started out as a warning, like,
Okay,
HR
so-
violation.
Bees, actually. Bees. So that joke, and I've said this joke forever, right? So like anytime, because when you like poke at a fire or whatever, all the little embers shoot up. And I've always said, me and my friends in high school, we'd always just go bees because they look like bees, right? And so I can't remember who I told. I think it was like Phil or something. I said, dude, I'm going to get everyone saying bees by the end of this, by the end of the camp, And so bees, 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 I keep saying it. And then eventually it turned into, because, we're at a camp. We want to make sure everyone's safe. So we had to have everyone sign like a code of conduct. Eventually the bees just screaming bees, because of bees, turned into
The safe word.
that's now the safe word. Anytime someone is saying something they shouldn't. So when a inappropriate joke was made, we'd all be screaming
Bees.
bees. To let
Until
people
it
know.
itself became the inappropriate thing.
Right.
Someone
Right.
would say something, and bees basically became that's what she said,
Yeah.
which
Right.
effectively turned. It was like I was like, oh yeah, I mean it was a huge piece of wood. Bees.
Bees.
It's like you have turned bees into the unsafe space.
Oh well.
It's like, and all this stuff just like organically, like all these inside jokes and stuff like that. It was so good. It's so much fun. So much fun.
I was telling my friend who like he wanted to go, but was just like, I don't know if I can really like swing that and take time off work and stuff. But I was telling him, I was like, yeah, it's crazy. It was like there was a couple people you'd hear talking about like various pieces of software for the most part, and I'd walk away from that pretty quickly because I just didn't want to be there talking about like Cinema 4D or After Effects or what Cavalry is going to do to the AE world.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we just talked about like the people that I was kind of roaming around with. I tried not to stay in the same circle, but it kind of always end up that way. We were just evolving the lore of the Dark Fruit and the Spider Lord, and talking about D&D and talking about our own personal projects and stuff, and it was really fun. Yeah. Oh, and then apparently at some point I turned into an apparition that was summonable.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, if you said my name, I would just show up.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, that was so weird. It was so weird.
And it wasn't just you.
No, well, so we were down at the sculpting class, and we started talking about you, for some reason, and then all of a sudden you just showed up. And we're like, oh, that's weird.
That's what happens when you talk about one of the 12 Spider-Lord apostles.
So then we're in I was in the animation principles workshop, and so we're going along, and then I start talking about Casey or something, and I say, watch, Casey's gonna show up, because he always does once you start talking about him. Sure enough, literally 2 seconds later he pokes his head through the door.
It happened to a couple of people too. They were like, how do you just show up? We were just talking about you. And then I started getting really nervous. I was like, oh god, what happened? Oh my god, I hope it's not like, I hope he tones it down tonight, because last night.
Jeremy says sculpting class is where you revealed the Dark Fruit stick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I just come back from my room going like, ah.
That's funny.
So let's talk about. Oh, first of all, there was a lot of underground D&D going on, which is awesome. A lot of underground,
yeah. We had like, I think 2 or 3 D&D sessions throughout the camp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a bunch of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Played a couple of them. That was fun.
And Paul, did you play with Paul?
I didn't play with Paul. No.
He brought his cards though, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, we were gonna do a what do you call it?
You did play with Paul.
Did Paul play? Oh yeah, that's right.
It was. I gotta go to bed.
We did Two-Headed Dragon. Right. Yeah. It was me and Billy versus you and Paul. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. We whooped y'all because that blue deck wasn't very good. So, yeah, it was funny. As after camp was over, Pickle Nick and I were playing we were playing Magic the Gathering at a bar, while they were waiting to play pool. And so we picked the 2 decks that Billy made and we played against each other. It was fun. Yeah. So yeah.
As far as classes go, you want to run through the classes?
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't get to do every single one, but I got to at least sit in.
The only one that I didn't do was the character design one with Jax.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty cool. She printed off a bunch of like Pokemon like body parts, like a head or a body or an arm or like a tail, and so they all had different like powers and stuff like that. And so you got to create your own individual Pokemon. And so what Ariev did, it was so funny. Ariev, he made his and he called it Derpasaur.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me see if I can find the picture of it.
A Torchic Cyndaquil Charmander hybrid, in case anyone wants to put a visual in your head of what it is.
Right. So let me see if I don't know if y'all can see it on my phone, but this is Derpasaur.
Derpasaur.
And then the very next class, he went to Long Live Derpasaur.
The Spidey wifey.
The very next class, he went to the sculpting class and he decided he was going to sculpt Derpasaur. And so I don't know if y'all, let me see if I can find this picture.
I don't know if I saw
This is him like dying laughing because Derpasaur looks like so terrible. He was like crying laughing because it looked so bad. But it was so funny. I think he did a pretty good job, sculpting Derpasaur. But yeah.
I mean, he's Octane
man.
Jesus, not Derposaur Jesus, so we'll give him
Right,
credit.
right.
Yeah.
So there's the character design class, which was really fun. The sculpting class was Patrick definitely pulled out his inner kindergarten teacher.
Oh yeah.
And was super chill and like, let's just like talk like this and let's grab our clay and just, there's no mistakes here. He was very, very Bob Ross Happy Trees.
I think he found his new calling. I'm telling you, he posted on Facebook yesterday. It's like his lifelong dream of being a kindergarten teacher. Like really, really fun, like just super relaxed and chill. And that cabin, or not cabin, but the art barn, it had this sliding door that you would slide open, and then you just have a view of the lake while you're sitting there listening to Patrick talk his happy trees and just making things. It's so great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was super chill, and like, while technically we didn't learn as much, we didn't learn any theory. I was really hoping for a bit more theory and stuff like that, but whatever. It's like just being there and being able to get your hands dirty and do something a little bit outside of your element that's still artistic. I was amazed how, like, when initially setting this up, I was thinking, okay, people are going to go do the sculpting class, and then, they're going to learn a little bit of theory, maybe, a little bit of how to incorporate that, or how to do that with like cinema or something like that, and like people will be learning this stuff. But what I didn't realize was how many damn good artists there were there, like, seeing people sculpt and actually seeing realistic human figures and stuff like that. It was absolutely insane at how good some of these people were.
And even people like just around, not even taking the classes, but like have their iPads out and they're drawing and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude, that was so cool. And like we talked about this at the first day, and like we didn't expect it to be as like cool as it was. Like people, we were saying basically we're excited to see how like it evolves organically, how the camp becomes its own type of thing, and from the very first day you had people sitting around and like coloring with crayons and like making cool stuff, and Penny was on her iPad, and I think Greg was drawing as well, and it's like all these people are just, it's a chance to sit outside and be artistic for 3 days, and it was so cool. So cool.
I really wanted to take Greg's class because not a single piece of paper that came out of that class looked anything but gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, those gradient pieces that people were making were just amazing. There was one that was laying on the table that was like a person's head that was half busted open with like the eyeball. I was like, why is that just laying here? And why isn't someone just like framing that up?
Yeah. It was super cool, and like while he was talking, so we ended up with these like cool looking gradients and stuff like that, where we put a bunch of tape down and then did the gradients over the tape and stuff like that, and then peeled it off, and you come up with these cool geometric like patterns and stuff like that, and it was a very cool exercise, but what's cool is like you're learning the theory first. Like he was teaching a bunch of theory, and he's like, grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil, grab some some markers and stuff, and just be drawing while I'm going over this, so like you kind of get this like, okay, cool, it's very free, all the workshops aren't like workshops when you're in high school and they're like, no, stop drawing, pay attention, blah blah blah, it's like, yes, these are artists getting together and like doing it. So like he taught us like a lot of the fundamentals, and you go to these workshops and stuff, and there's some people who have, yes, absolutely, they took design courses and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of this is just refresher, but while yes, it is refresher, sometimes it's really good to keep that back in your
the back to basics.
Back to basics, to put those principles back in your head, because it's like we may do this stuff without thinking about it. But then you go in and you retake just a quick refresher about it, and you're like, okay, yeah, now I know why I'm doing this. Now I know, the theory behind it and stuff like that. And the color theory class was awesome. Like he went over, primary colors, secondary, tertiary colors, and then how they work well together on the color wheel and stuff like that. And it was very cool. And then he's like, all right, we're going to create some gradients, using one of the types of things on the color wheel, or, so then you do that. And it ended up all looking so pretty. It was very good. Greg was an excellent teacher,
Yeah. And like Alex just pointed out in the chat here, he talked about putting a black and white adjustment layer on top of all of your projects. Just to be able to switch over to that and then just see how it looks in black and white rather than in color. It's like it's so simple, but it's such a great tip.
Yeah. It was super cool. And, that was something we talked about in the design principles class as well. Contrast being a big thing. And like, sometimes if you're having a hard time determining whether it's going to look good, throw a black and white, adjustment layer over your stuff, and you can see exactly where the faults are, to help you with your color choices and stuff like that. Very cool. Super, super cool, And these are things like, all right, cool. You brought them home. Okay, cool.
I'm framing these. These
good. I hope you do.
Next time you guys have me on, they're gonna replace that Marvel picture, but.
So this one I am particularly proud of, and so I'll tell this story. So I did both of these. This was me for people who did not know, because Casey was all like, Spider Lord. So I wanted to
prank.
I wanted to push him over the edge, but I was a little worried that I might push him over the edge,
Oh yeah, you guys were afraid I booby trapped my cabin.
Yeah.
So
Watch
I went
for the
in.
trip lines next time.
It was me and EJ, so I drew the picture, and I was like, "All right, EJ, watch out for me," So we walked in, and I put in the initial spider saying, "I'm watching you," but like I was drawing it, and EJ was like, "I don't know if anyone's gonna know that Spider Lord," so I had to put the "Hi, I'm Spider Lord."
Hell yeah, as a name tag, I'm Spider Lord.
That's great.
Yeah. So it was like,
oh man.
Oh dude,
wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Did Augustine do that?
Yeah, right before I was leaving, he was like, "Oh, hey, I made this for you," and I was like, "Whoa, awesome. Thank you." So yeah, I'm gonna frame those.
What is his name on Instagram?
It's called It's called like Dumb something, right?
See,
what is it
I'll
called?
Find him because he posted one today.
It's got a funny name. Like I'm on the wrong.
Oh, there it is. Dummy Fresh.
Dummy Fresh.
Yeah. Follow Dummy Fresh on Instagram, dude. His typography stuff is so good, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was great. He was just whipping those out, and I didn't even see that. Then he handed me that, and he was like, "Hey, I made this for you." And I was like, "Oh, wow, thank you." So I took it, and I took my Camp Mograph little legal pad and put all stuff in there, and then I put my little organizer and my iPad and smashed them all between there and put them on my backpack and made sure everything was like nice and flat. So I was like, I'm gonna frame these when I get home.
Yeah. So I put that initial picture in your cabin, and then you asked me later. You said, "Did you put that picture in my cabin?" I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" Of course, playing it off. Did I do a good job? Was my acting good? Or I knew it was you eventually because the Slack message, you're like, "Hey man, I saw someone around your cabin. You want me to check it out?" Well, okay, and so here's the reason why I did that. Here's the reason why I did that, because you got to be careful in this world nowadays. You never know who's actually going to how far you're going to push someone, and I didn't want the weight of that on me. So if you look at the other one. If you look at the other one, what does it say? Like 12 notches, because that's the dark fruit. The dark fruit has 11 notches, and we assumed it was because that was for each murder. So 12 notches, dark fruit must be you. Spider Lord says so, right? And so I went and I did that, and then like I did the smears, like in order to make it look more creepy. Yeah. And so I'm walking down to your cabin, and you've got this like big stick next to your door. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's a booby trap, one. And two, is he putting that there so if someone opens the door, he knows that it like turns? So I was very cautious walking in. And as I'm walking down to your cabin, I'm like, all right, is this going to put him over the edge? Is he going to think this is real? Is he going to think that the Spider Lord is actually telling him to kill? Like, is he going to end up killing someone? And this is going to be all my fault, and I'm going to go to jail for this. So
no, it was totally fine. I knew it was all coming from a good place, and I'd rather that kind of stuff happen to me than someone else who might not be able to handle it.
Right. So and so that's why I started kind of hinting that I was the one leaving these notes. So if you were going to murder anyone, it would be me, which I guess I deserve it, whatever.
I just remembered from the whole stick thing. I like when they opened up the archery thing, I found a stick and I just started whittling, and I made you that knife.
Right.
So I whittled this knife out of a stick and gave it to Matt, and then someone was like, "Oh, we want to whittle a new fire poking stick." I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I whittled a little spear, gave it to someone else, and then Matthias was like, "Hey, can you turn this into a spear for me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I whittled like 7 or 8 pointy sticks.
Yeah.
It's not an art form. It's just a knife cutting something, making it sharper.
Right.
Then I see Penny make this wand that's like as ornate as something you'd be gifted.
Amazing. Dave, do you have that on you?
No, I don't have it with me. No.
I don't have.
I mean, not right at my desk. No.
Yeah.
But then, so that one of the tales became that since I discovered the dark fruit at night, I would become indestructible while wielding the dark fruit, and only weapons crafted by my hand could take me down.
Right.
So subconsciously, I'd been giving all of these wooden spears out to make sure that the camp was capable of destroying the dark fruit.
Right, of course. Let's see, in our that was Demi Fresh. Like, he did that one. That was so rad.
Yeah.
But in our storytelling class, the storytelling class I think was by far the most popular class that we had, which I think it's because we were it was so outside of there it is. Yeah.
Here's
outside
the
of our
wand.
element. The wand.
Yeah, here's the wand.
Oh man.
I'll bring it back up here. You can see. It's pretty. Look at
Yeah,
that.
Penny did a freaking awesome job on that.
I think she did it with a rock.
No, she had a knife. She had an
she did?
knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Hermione Granger wand. So
she
good.
whittled a sweet toothpick out of a rock at the archery range.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I saw that. But the storytelling class was by far the most popular. Surprising. Like I'm not surprised, because Satine is really good at what she does. And then like she helps guide everyone into this awesome story, and you just create this amazing narrative by the end of it. Yeah, there you go.
I went in there to check it out. Paul Dowd was in there.
Yeah, we had a lot of people in our class and stuff like that. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And it's interesting. It's like being in a writer's room, you're all throwing ideas out there, and some of them land and some of them don't. But when you feel one, like collectively as a group, like an idea land really well and everyone gets really excited about it, it's fun. It's so different than, what we're all used to. So that was us raising
the flag. That was funny. We got a new Clipper Brodeur.
Yeah.
Doing his Just Do It thing.
Yeah.
And the cider donuts were great. Mark brought those in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Those cider donuts were amazing.
Yeah. Well, his parents brought them, actually. Those are good. Cider donuts and cider. And then, of course, we had like hard cider as well, like you do.
Yep.
Which is really good. And I mean, the cider was such a hit. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
I'll show him the beast. Show him the van. So we had the Camp Mograph shuttle.
The beast.
We got this. We got a big magnetic sticker, or a big magnetic magnet
sign
for the sign for the side of the van. That thing was fun to drive around. It surprisingly got really good gas mileage for such a big van. We only had to fill it up like 3 times total.
It probably had like a 30-gallon tank.
It did. It was like a 25. Yeah. So it cost like $60 or $70 to fill it up, but whatever.
Is that it?
Yeah.
How much was gas?
We spent a total of $210 on gas.
Not bad.
But we were literally
There's many
driving
runs.
back and forth for 3 days straight. and then there's me
We had
with
the
every piece of clothing I had on because it was very cold that
the
night.
campfires every night. Had the
Uh-huh.
the s'mores
Yep.
and
Who was the person that brought all those gourmet s'mores? He was like, I got a gourmet s'mores. Anyone want some of these?
So good though. It was so
yeah.
good.
I don't remember who brought them because by the time I got down there was just a bunch of people eating them. But thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, stranger with the cookie dough marshmallows
Yeah.
and Belgian waffle crisps.
And
Yeah.
the
And Aaron's fireside chat
Yeah.
was so good.
Oh,
Like
I
chats.
loved that.
She talked for 3 hours straight, which was amazing. Just telling us stories about, the Rousseau brothers and, how she got started and all the different places she's worked. And like, it was so good. Show them the stamp on the wall.
was that the stamp?
So
Oh
the-
yeah.
The stamp. Yeah. So we had to leave a Camp Mograph stamp on the inside of one of the cabins after we left.
For sure. Yeah, and your creativity just kind of goes wild. It's like not only are you doing classes, but you're just hanging out. And a lot of people were into drawing and photography and all that. Jeremy and I went out, and we were gonna do like star photography, and we messed around with that a little bit. But then we got to the point where like we were just light painting on the basketball court. Just seeing what we can do. We're like, okay, let's do it this way. Now let's do it this way. And this is all with one flashlight here. And of course I took my drone out as well. Got some fun shots with the drone. So we've got
good old
plenty
Porter, the
We
dog.
can't forget about
Porter, the
Porter.
dog.
Yeah.
That dog just rolled up on me like constantly, just like boom, boom, right behind me, sniffing my hand, and then I'd pet him for a second, and then he'd just take off.
Yeah. He did not want to be friends with anyone in particular.
No, he just wanted to make sure, except for Rocket.
Except for Rocket.
Except he was hurt.
Both dogs love children,
Right.
He was
right,
hurting
right.
the children. It's interesting.
and the vans.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
right.
I remember a human would have to come out and intervene because the dogs were just like, I don't like this van's moving. What's this van doing moving? Get it off my property.
Yeah.
There's Tent Village, the Octane Village. That was cool.
Yeah. Oh, and
One of the 2 Octane villages.
Phil had his first s'mores.
Yes.
His first s'more.
Oh, was it perfect as well?
Yeah.
Did
I
he have
think
a
so.
perfect s'more?
I think so.
This was
I hope
cool.
so.
This is something that happened that we didn't expect. EJ did a beer tasting, where he would just get a whole bunch of people, and so a lot of people brought their own beers from their the different areas where they were at. Brought them from home. So
and scotches, and there was all kinds of like off-label booze that was like showing up. That was like, I brought this. This is from Colorado, or I brought this. This is from. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the second night, the old fashions, right? That was
Oh,
that was good. That was really good.
damn you, Julie. I'd look away, and she'd walk by and go like,
Need another one? Sure.
Yep. And I'd be like, all right. And I'd look behind me at one point, and I had 4 cups, and I was like, ooh, tomorrow morning's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
And the last night was so cool. I don't want to jump like timeline ahead of anything, but everyone knew that Matt and Nick had these ridiculously early morning shuttle runs to start making. Matt had to do his
2:45 a.m.
first drive at 2:45 a.m.
Yep.
So like David Brodeur, and he was on that shuttle.
Yeah.
No one went to sleep. We all just stayed up until the first shuttle left.
Yep.
And then after the shuttle started leaving, everyone started just going to bed. And I went to bed, and when I woke up, I came, and everyone was kind of like, there was only like half the camp left having breakfast. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go run, take a shower really quick. And I came back, and there was 5 people left. And I was like, I'm kind of glad that I was not here for when everyone left like that, because I already cried by myself in a hammock yesterday just because I was so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I just had to take a nap because I was just so exhausted. And I just got like so overwhelmed by like how amazing a time everyone was having.
Yeah.
Because there was this, I watched this whole emotional change in the whole camp happen. When the first campers rolled in, everyone had this sort of like, okay, look, and everyone kind of came in.
What did I get myself into?
Everyone came into the mess hall, and everyone was kind of clustered together, being like, "Oh, I know you kind of, and no, I know you kind of." And then archery happened, and then everyone was like, "Okay, archery's the thing." And then like within a few hours, everyone kind of like got a little looser, and
Yeah.
none of it involved like drinking or anything. It was all just kind of everyone's social bubbles coming down because
we realized we're all introverts, and it's okay.
the whole libation side of it, that wasn't like a big thing. This was not like everyone gets smashed in the cabins.
We actually thought people were going to drink twice as much as we did. We didn't go through as much alcohol as we thought we were going to do. Like what we budgeted for was like twice to 3 times the amount, and it was cool. Everyone was just chilling.
We went down to the Temple of the Spider Lord the first day, but before the campers came, and Phil was skipping rocks. The rest of us were chucking rocks at the water. Because I don't know if you guys don't know Phil, Raider Zero, like he does not do anything poorly.
No, he is good at everything. Yes.
If you walked by the shower, you heard a shower happening perfectly, which is something that you weren't even aware could happen.
Right.
He would throw a rock across the water, and it would just make it to the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
NBD.
But, it was just great. It was definitely a memory I will have forever. Yeah. And hopefully just keep adding on to him.
Phil was good at beer pong too. Because the beer pong.
Dude, you know who was really good at beer pong?
Who?
Billy. And Billy doesn't even drink. I thought it was amazing. He's just like, boom, sink. And so, what was it? It was either Brodeur or EJ was having to drink his beers for him.
It's hilarious because EJ and Brodeur became like the total like beer pong jocks, like bumping chests.
They were your stereotypical, beer pong bros.
Just like egging everybody on, and we lost terribly to them the night before, like 4 complete sinks in a row, like bam, 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 all the way down the line. Got him back the next day though.
Yeah.
Got him back the next day, and you know why? It's because Phil is badass at everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we did a bunch of archery. It's the first time I had ever shot an arrow, and I was like, oh man, this is super cool. This is really fun, and so Dryson shows up to shoot some arrows. I was like, come on, we're gonna have a competition, right? Dude, this guy like gets freaking bullseyes every single time. I was like, dang, dude, you are good. And he goes, oh yeah, I was state champion archery 10 years ago. Like, oh, okay.
Well, that explains it.
All right, well, that explains it.
That's great. And we didn't talk much about Barton's talk. Barton's talk went really well. It went very long.
Barton's talk was cool. It's cool. He talked a lot about like, the hiring process, what he looks for in an employee and stuff like that, and finding your own path, whether it's starting a studio or whether it's like working for a studio. It was very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I always enjoy like with Barton, like hearing the tale of going from you didn't know what you were doing was going to be a profitable thing. It was just the thing that you felt like it was like good to do because you were passionate about doing it, and like hearing how his nights and weekend work became his daytime work, and then becoming like embarrassingly wealthy with the amount of work that you're doing that you have to start. You're like, I have to figure out what to do. That was just super cool. Like I couldn't believe it. I think I might have lost you guys.
Nope.
Oh, you're
still here.
I see you.
Oh, okay, cool. Everything froze for a second.
Oh, no, you're good.
But yeah, Barton was awesome. I thought that because I always think about that, like when I'm really doing well with freelance, and I'm like, I got to subcontract some stuff out. I'm like, when do I make the decision to like hire a producer to help just manage the emails so I can do more work and not do more like calendar management or Zoom link management or just phone calls talking about the whatever.
Yeah. And like that whole decision is just like when do I go freelance? It's like, you start growing as a freelancer, and then you're like, okay, well, do I start my own studio now? At what point do I have enough work to where I've got to do that? It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Well, we didn't talk about all the classes. Like Caitlin's class, we talked about her. Yeah?
Caitlin's class was awesome. Yeah. Like I said, it's
touched on design principles, but no.
Yeah. It's similar to the color theory class. For those who have who have a design background or whatever, it's great. Like I took a design principles class in college, and it was fantastic being able to just get this refresher, because sometimes you just you forget some of these things, and everyone has a different interpretation. Like she said in her class, everyone has a different interpretation of what some of those mean. Like some people are like, oh, it's the 7 design principles, oh, it's the 9 design principles, and she pointed out that like several of these coincide with one another, so some people just lump them all together. It was very, very cool. And then the original plan was for us to be actually like us going over it and then us getting hands-on and stuff like that. But the discussions that were happening in the class about the different principles and stuff, and she did a great job on showing off motion design industry in particular, like that it was that she would pick up pieces that showed off some of the different principles, because it's very easy to find some of those examples in like just print and stuff like that, but finding them in design is a little bit more difficult. So yeah.
And then EJ's,
she was one of the people. Oh yeah, EJ's.
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
EJ's class was fun.
Oh.
We all did.
I was just gonna say she was one of the people that I had known from when I joined the motion design Slack for the longest time, and I was in a internet book club with her and Yusuf and them, but I'd never met in person. And,
oh really? That's funny.
So we're walking, and I was like, "Oh, what was your name?" And she was like, "We've met." And I was like, "Oh, hey, I didn't recognize you because
hey, we're best friends, and I didn't know it."
there were so many people that I had only ever just had like conversations with, like in DMs or chat channels on Mograph.com Slack or Motion Design Slack, that I've become like internet friends with, that I'd never seen in person and got to like actually hang out in meet space with.
Yeah, it was funny. The first night that we got there, not to the camp, but we stayed at an Airbnb the night before, and then we met Noseman and Phil and Little Ryan and Patrick. Like they drove down from Montreal to meet us at this Airbnb that we were staying at, and I was introducing Nick and Phil. I was like, "Oh, Phil, have you met Nick?" And he goes, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." And he shakes his hand. I said, "It's Pickle Nick." And he goes, "Pickle Nick!" And then he just gives him a big hug. It's like really funny. Like, we know each other by our avatars and stuff like that, and not by our actual names.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and EJ's flipbook thing was great. There were some great animations coming out of there.
Yeah. Even for people like I mean, it's we didn't have a chance to go over all the animation design or the animation principles and stuff like that, but like it was still really fun being able to go through and like create these little. We did bees, of course.
Right.
A little animation of a bee, and then Jessica Herrera did a bee twerking, which was a lot of fun, like you do.
Like you do.
So. Yeah, that one was really fun too. What else? Did I miss something?
Did we cover everybody? I think we did.
Storytelling, character design, animation principles,
Yeah,
design principles, color theory.
Workouts.
I'm missing one. Workouts. I'm missing one. Who am I missing?
Sculpting.
Sculpting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We
I
did that.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got them all.
Yeah. The food was great. The food was amazing.
The food was awesome, dude. One night we had friggin' Thanksgiving dinner. It was the best turkey I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was so good.
I liked the batting cleanup lunch when it was just like the 6 of us or 6 or 7 of us that were all left, and it was just like the leftovers from every meal they prepared. So like you could make yourself a Thanksgiving pulled pork and turkey BLT sandwich if you wanted to. Yeah. The only thing that there wasn't leftovers of were, I think, the first lunch which was all burgers and Beyond Burgers.
Well, yeah.
I think everyone showed up real hungry.
Yeah.
The options were great too. Like the food options, depending on diet and whatever, I think they had it covered very well. It comes to like vegan options, vegetarian options.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I mean, Noseman cooked his own food, but that's just because he eats steak at every meal.
Yeah.
But they were very accommodating. They let us use the kitchen and stuff like that. And so we bought a whole bunch of pizzas from Costco. This is funny.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this Costco trip, we went to
Oh.
Costco, you know, to buy a bunch of snacks and stuff for everyone. So we went and bought, we pulled up on the pizza aisles because they had a whole bunch of like cheese pizzas, and it was like, all right, load them up. We're gonna take every single one, Phil. So we loaded up like 10 pizzas, and then we walk away, you know, blah blah blah, and we walk back by, and there's like 5 more pizzas there. We're like, all right, grab the 5 more pizzas, you know. And I see someone at one of the Costco workers on the inside doing this. What? He's taking all the pizzas again. Look, you know, it's like, sorry, dude. Whoops.
That last night at like 2:30 in the morning, it was just like, pizza? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go
Yeah.
pizza going. 2
Yeah,
orders of
so
pizza,
I mean,
please.
because we were staying up till like 3 in the morning, so we're like, let's cook all these pizzas. We got all the pizzas left over.
Might as
You know,
well.
why not?
It had been
So-
7 hours since dinner at that point.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was busy servicing 2 fires. I was like, I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
food so bad.
So, so Mark gave us. He kind of burned some of the pizzas, but it was fine. It was good. You know, we were all
pizza's
drinking
good.
it. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Camp Mograph 1.0 was
Mhm.
so much fun. It was so much fun. And I said this on the Monday meeting on was it Monday? Yeah, on Monday. That like the feedback that everyone has given us. Oh, we didn't talk about Barl.
Oh, we didn't talk about Barl.
Barlows?
Barlos. So Anna Vershina, so they had all these mugs, right? That like I guess previous people had like painted, you know, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then so it was all the mugs for coffee and stuff like that. And so there was this one guy, his name was Carl, you know, and like, you know, as you do, you tease people, everyone started calling him Barl or Barlos, you know, and so they made him a Barl mug, and it was it was so silly. So Anna, the entire time, she would not leave that mug. Like that mug
Mhm.
was hers the entire time. It was
Did
like,
she take it home?
I think so, yeah.
I hope she did.
So I was at the we were at the airport, the Burlington airport, waiting to come home, and I saw one of those like Cokes share with, you know, whatever, and it said Carl, so I totally like just put a B there. It's like share a Coke with Barl. It was so funny.
There was also a name tag thing, and there was the package of name tags.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
And for
Right.
whatever reason, on the name tag thing, the name tag that was applied as a demonstration of a name tag said, "Hello, my name is Casey."
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
I was
no,
like, "What the hell? No one ever."
I actually used Casey as the name for all of our. It's a very
I know.
non-gender specific name, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's why they use them.
Yeah, I was like, "What the heck?" And because someone at NAB was like, "Is this your letter?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" No, it was like, it's addressed to you. And
Yeah.
I was like, I know that I tried a very hard campaign of being the Casey, but
Yeah.
I think this is just a general name.
Yeah. It's a very gender neutral name. That's why we chose it.
I
So.
see that the camp just started following us on Instagram just now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They were so thrilled about camp in general too. They were just like, "You guys are having so much fun." And I was helping clean up one night, and the longer haired camp hand was just like, "Are you guys gonna do something with this Spider Lord thing? Because like that's all you guys are talking about, the Spider Lord, the dark fruit."
Yeah.
And I was like, if we do anything, you guys will be the first to know about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
so
Yeah. Talk about Andrew Plum. Let's talk about
Andrew Plum. So when they were like, we got a lot of weird rituals here, and after you've been a counselor here for a certain amount of years, you get this stick, and you name
you
it.
get your
and
own. Yeah. You get your own nickname.
You
It
get
was
your own
like, you
nickname.
know.
So he nicknamed himself Dark Fruit. His last
Yeah.
name is Plum. He's
Right.
not an overlord or an insidious person. He's just
Right.
quite literal.
Right.
So I was like, prove it. Show me this man exists. Show me the emails. So they pull up a Facebook. They pull up a Facebook profile of this fella named Andrew Plum, and he's holding like a giant Dungeness crab. And I
Right.
was like, okay, so the Harbinger of
You're
the
trying-
Spider Lord tends his vacation time with sea spiders. Okay, nothing weird going on here at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I
So yes,
I looked back.
Andrew Plum. Andrew Plum is the is the controller of the Spider Lord. of course.
He's the Voldemort.
Yes, he is the Voldemort. Yes.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny because after the camp, I was reminiscing a little bit, and I was like, yeah, also thinking back on all of the prep that we've done and all of that too. And I thought it was interesting because I was like, I'm gonna go back and look, and I was watching the original like super 80s promo video that we did, just to see how similar it was, and I was like, man, this is actually pretty on point. I think we did a good job like making it look like how it actually turned out. So
yeah,
I was happy about that.
This is not at all far off. Like
no,
that,
it's not.
like you could all of those things that happened in that video happened. People went fishing. Yeah, like there was it was the cabin's not too far off from that.
Right,
Nope.
that's true.
Nope. There was guitar playing.
Yeah.
There was a guy with a guitar.
Oh yeah, Wes did the song on the piano one night.
Yep, we did the camp song.
This is actually real.
Yeah, well, because we released it on April 1st.
Whoops.
So we were worried that people, note to self, don't do that.
Yeah.
You guys didn't intentionally do that?
No. We knew what day
no.
we were going to release it, and we didn't think
Yeah.
about that at all.
We did intentionally start ticket sales on 420.
Right.
That was
Right.
intentional.
Yeah.
Because was it just so I know you guys had talked about it briefly with Mark and Co. Before NAB.
Mm-hmm.
And NAB was sort of like the bouncing board where you were like, what do
No.
you think?
No,
it was already in the works.
Half res, it was already in the.
Oh, you talked about it at
half
half
res
okay.
was
Half-res 7.
where Mark initially had the idea,
Mhm.
and I was like, yeah, that'd be cool, blah blah blah, and so he then found Camp Abnaki, and he was like, hey, check this out, blah blah blah, and so we start looking at the camp, and it was like from that point on, I was like, yes, I am 100% on board,
Mhm.
and like we just ran with it. So we did a lot of like the little promo stuff, and then we announced Camp Mograph, and like we got all of our teachers involved and stuff like that before we even announced anything, so that we would have everyone on board.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was. When you guys brought it up at NAB, I was like, yeah, I don't want to scare you too much, but yes, please give me access to the camp.
yeah.
But man, Mark, that guy, Champ, dude, he put in like all his soul. Like that was like,
Yeah, he did.
He was running around like. I don't think I saw him look relaxed a couple times. But
Yeah.
I think he was so focused on everyone else feeling relaxed or comfortable that like he put everything. I hope he's still sleeping.
No,
I don't know.
well,
No,
not
he's out doing
necessarily.
stuff.
We're already like talking
We're
to each
already
other.
full on
Yeah.
in the works for 2.0.
Yeah.
So
Oh man.
We couldn't take we thought we were going to take a break, and we didn't take a break.
And that's the thing, like this has been, here's the thing. And there was a little bit, when you've got like a group of people together, who are putting something together, none of us were sure what needed to happen. So, and I am totally at fault at this, I did a little bit of arguing amongst the group. I'm like, no, we need to do it this way. And I'm like, no, you need to do it this way, but like, the way it turned out and the way everything else, now that we've got the first year done, it's like, okay, I found that all of us are more like, we're in tune. We know what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because we've seen the first year.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this next year is going to be, oh man, I can't even tell y'all. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We're full blown talking about next year. Like we thought we'd be like sleeping, but here we are.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like we're like, oh man, I can't wait until camp is over and we can finally just take a break from it, and that we like take a month off, and then we start planning the next one if we're even going to do it. But everyone was so positive, and this was something that I mentioned on Monday meeting, where there's so much positivity and so many good things being said about the camp and how great the experience was for the first time in a long time. Like we have been just on Twitter's good side,
Well, and not only
like,
that, but
people
you can make tutorials and whatnot, put them on the internet, right? But
Yeah.
you don't necessarily feel like when you put a tutorial out that, well, I'm making a difference. There's something about putting this on that really feels like it's helping people in many different ways, and that it's actually making an impact on somebody, and that feels good, bro.
Yeah.
These are the, I mean, the what Camp Mograph had going for it was the parts of SIGGRAPH and NAB attendees' trips that they remember the most.
Yeah.
After the fact, the whole time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the like 11-hour days at the booth, tutorial anxiety, getting back behind the booth, stream anxiety, trying to make sure that you're networking and getting to talk to everyone and touch all the touch points. Yeah, because effectively at SIGGRAPH and NAB, you're all in the same place together. You could do the same things at Camp Mograph, but at Camp Mograph, it pulled off all of the husk of like normal society and like responsibility, in a way that the preconceived perception that you're supposed to put on at these big industry events. This wasn't a big industry event like as a first thing. This was a camp. Like this was in itself like a whole flip flop, sandals, hacky sack, and maybe not wash your hair today vibe. You know? It didn't have the rind, as Liam points out.
It was something, everybody was on the same level, which is great. Everybody was, and then I don't know. A lot of people brought up the fact that whenever you're there, it's opposite of conference, because at a conference everyone gets together at the conference and then they go their separate ways at night. Yeah. This everybody would get together for lunch and dinner and all of that. Yeah, every single day.
That was something that Billy talked about. He said, at Blend, when people were at Blend and then lunchtime rolled around, it's like everyone would split off and go do their own thing. And that was something. Circles. This is something that like I really have a hard time with at SIGGRAPH and NAB, where it's like I have so many friends in this community that I want to spend a lot of time with them. You know. Like, every time I'm at SIGGRAPH or NAB, I always feel like there's only really one or two people that like I get to spend a large amount of time talking to, because, I want to be able to hang out with all my friends and stuff like that. And because at lunchtime, everyone came back in, at dinner time, everyone came back in, at breakfast time, everyone came back in, and we're all hanging out. And oh, how was your workshop? Oh, which one did you just do? Oh yeah, wasn't that so much fun when this happened and blah blah blah. Oh, the Spider Lord, blah 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 blah. And it's like we've got all these inside jokes. We've got so much fun to be had, and everyone is together. Yeah. And so it was such a great feeling.
Ryan Summers
it was absence of FOMO.
Yeah.
What? It was absent of FOMO. You weren't worried. You weren't like sending 4 text messages out to a group of people like I know a lot of people do at like NAB, where it's like, where is this group going? Are you going to Casino Royale? But this other group's going over here, and then we got to get back to the Airbnb to get to this place, and then can you guys meet up later? And you just kind of end up just being like, you're gonna blow off a few people every night. And you're gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't meet up, but can we get together for the?" But at the camp, like I just kept rolling around, just being a little Roman hermit, popping in, saying hey, talking to people, interrupting classes.
Ryan Summers is in the chat. He says, my heart is still in Vermont, even if my head is sitting here banging my desk in Chicago. Yeah, we're like, oh man, there's that post-depression, the post-camp depression sets in, but
it's it was a good experience. Yeah. I'm super excited for 2.0. 2.0, and we may have something to announce within the next month or so. Maybe within the next week. I don't know. We'll just got to get everything on paper.
Yeah. Links.
I'm gunning to help get a health and wellness sponsor of some sort in the books, like some sort of like health and wellness.
I almost made a spoiler. I almost said a spoiler, but I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you after. Yeah. Who I've got in mind.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna go openly and be like, hey, like just email people. I'm gonna use one of the things that if you went to camp you would have learned. A common thread between everyone who's experiencing or has experienced a moment of success or a little bit of surge or in their career growth is they didn't stop emailing if they didn't get a response.
Mm-hmm.
They emailed the people they want to work with. They reach out for the things they want, and they ask for the help that they wanted. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is they're just not going to respond. No one's going to respond back and be like, listen, who do you think you are emailing me saying you want to collaborate with me? My name is Tony Two Tones, and I don't work with scrubs.
That's funny.
Well, I'm going to put in the link in the show notes to the Monday meeting wrap up, because we were back at the hotel. We did not leave the next day. we stayed to kind of clean up, get everything good to go, return a bunch of things, and pack up, do all that stuff. So we stayed at a hotel until the next day after that. So we were hanging out in the hotel, and so we joined in the Monday meeting. And so there's a link for that I'll put in the show notes, so you can go check that out if you want to hear more about that from campers and such as well.
Yep. And that first day, the day after camp, we started planning 2.0. So it's coming.
Yeah.
It'll be next year. So that's for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we're good.
Number of tickets available.
Right.
What?
Limited number of tickets available.
Yeah.
Very limited.
Yeah.
See, so, and that's the thing, like, you know, people were happy with how, you know, intimate and stuff it felt.
Yeah.
So
you gotta keep that vibe.
We're not gonna be no blend with, like, you know, 300 or 400 people.
Over 9,000. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, over 9,000.
It changes the feel.
It's gonna be small, so make sure you're aware.
Yeah.
So if you're curious, if you're not signed up, sign up for our newsletter. CampMograph.com. Sign up for that newsletter. You know, and we'll let everyone know with all the details.
Yeah.
Oh, and expect a survey to go out within the next day or so.
Yeah, we really want to get the feedback, so make sure you send that in, and it can be done anonymously too. So
yes.
Cool. All right, well, I think that pretty much wraps it up, unless y'all have anything more to say. But
all hail Spider Lord.
Yeah.
We are his eyes.
So
just thanks for doing it, guys.
Thanks,
it was apt. I know I've told you this probably 100 times by now, but I won't stop saying it because it was I think this was a really important thing for a lot of people, and I think that is something that that's one of the reasons why I stick around in this Mograph community. That's why I hang out with the Maxon folks so much, is because they don't really think about numbers or sales or tickets or prices or profits. Those are things they have to think about, but community and the people that we're working with are really the most important things. Yep. And it's great.
Yeah.
It's real great.
Totally.
So if anybody is going to be actually in LA tomorrow for Control Z,
I forgot that you're still going to that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Leaving tomorrow morning to go to Control Z, and then taking the red eye back same day at the end of the party.
Yep.
And then
not even at the end of the party. You're gonna have to ditch out like in the middle of the party.
Yeah, a little bit early. That's fine. I won't have any luggage or anything with me, so it's I don't really have to worry about showing up too early.
Are you gonna see Jules tomorrow?
I'm assuming Jules will be there.
Okay, then I'm gonna bring you.
Dude, you're bringing me all of these things to take with me. I'm not bringing anything on the flight. I don't have a bag. I have my wallet and keys and phone, and that's all I'm bringing with me. So I can't carry that around LA.
I'm gonna give you Billy's hoodie. I'm gonna
have to carry a hoodie around LA for 6 hours.
That's all right. Yeah. You'll meet up with Billy at some point.
Yeah, and then
we can argue about this.
Yeah,
later
I'm coming back on the red eye, and so my 20th high school reunion is on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'm leaving for New York for a week. We're both going to New York for a week.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be in New York,
if you're in the New York area,
yeah,
hit us up, because I'm sure we'll be doing some sort of meetup or something like that while we're there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's tons of stuff going on, as well as the 3D Design Plus Motion Tour is there at the same time, which is going to be crazy. There's going to be some great speakers, and
make sure and watch C4D Live for all the presentations, because we'll be broadcasting them live.
This is the first time.
Actually, I can pull up that list right now.
Yeah,
hold on.
This is the first time.
live.com.
We got Nick Campbell.
I'm not sure. I don't know if Nick's going to be there.
No, he's definitely going to be at the Motion Tour meetup, though. So
he will be at the Motion Tour meetup. Yes.
Nick Campbell.
And my internet's been stupid lately.
Andrew Kramer, right?
Andrew Kramer is going to be there. Yeah. He will be. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Andrew Kramer, Eric Say, Isaac Tarax, Jeremy Cox, John Lepore, Marty Romances, Perry Haravas, Ridvan Maluku. Sorry, I'm messing that up. Robin Haddow and Sakani Solomon. So it's a killer lineup.
Well, you don't know how to pronounce the names now, but they'll be your friends by the end of the week.
I know.
So
It will be my best friends by the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
A lot of good presentations. So.
All
super
right.
pumped.
Well, we're gonna get out of here. Casey, thanks for coming and helping us do a wrap up.
Dude, yeah, they post mortem.
Mortem. Cool. Yeah. If anyone wants to find you online, is it xkcx.com, right? What else are you?
Oh, me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Casey and other things.
Darth Casey. All right. Cool. Well, we're going to get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review, and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. It helps get our ratings up. Our newsletter goes out monthly. If you want to subscribe to that, you can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee. Paul Babb, Fuel the Bab 2020 shirt, all the profits from that. Go to Doctors Without Borders. And the Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee, make sure you get that for the winter time. And then, of course, that Render is Fire shirt, which you must wear ironically. It's
but by telling people to wear it ironically.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you were wearing it seriously, then no.
All right.
And of course, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, Mograph.com. Come check us out. Check out CampMograph.com and get all the information that you need for next year. So,
yep.
We're going to take off. Till next week, I'm Dave.
I'm Matt.
And I am the Harbinger of the Spider Lord. I said it.
We are his eyes.
Let him embrace us with his 8 arms.
Yes.
All hail Spider Lord.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody have a good one.
Later, yo.
Goodbye.
Go into the standby screen. Do.
So I hit stop on my audio recorder now?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You can hit stop. We're still live, though. I'm going to go ahead and save all the things. And
Tell me when we're not live.